Good afternoon. Good afternoon. I'm actually in my car. I took a day out of the class today. I had some medical appointments this morning in Virginia, and now still waiting on the lovely Walgreens to finish filling the prescription. But when I was in Norfolk, it's a drive up there, I afterwards went by Prince Books, downtown Norfolk. I'd never been in there before, and I had a little bit of time before the doctor had called something into the drugstore, so I thought, well, let me just pop in. And I love going to independent bookstores, and so of course I'm always eager to see what they have in terms of children's picture books, and there were some great ones in there. And so I thought, okay, while I'm waiting here, let me show one here that I picked up. It is a really fun one, and I think this was one of the ones that was being suggested for a Newbery or Caldecott. I saw this somewhere. It didn't. I don't think it won in the end. I know it didn't win the Newbery, and it didn't win the Caldecott in January. But I can see why people, had it as a contender. So this is titled "The Man Who Didn't Like Animals." Deborah Underwood is the writer, and Liyuan Fan is the illustrator. Let me show you the book. And the little teaser is, and I'll show you some of the end pages, some of the pages. The little teaser is, before there was Old MacDonald, there was ... ellipsis, the man who didn't like animals. And one of the nice things about going into a bookstore is that I always can sit down and grab, several of them that get my eye and sit down and read them, and then use that to help me decide if there are any that I want to actually take with me that I want to purchase. And so this was one that I did. As soon as I read it, I was like, okay, yeah, this is going in the bag. But here are the wonderful end pages, which is basically the neighborhood of this Mr. McDonald. And you can see you got the dog park down here, and everywhere you can see, like in this little village, we've got a bookstore, we've got a reptile house, we've got a bird shop, there's even the carriage ride here, and of course the dog park. Even here, it looks like ducks on the top of a building, chickens. And then if you look, it's the end page at the end is in color, much more vivid colors. And it's Old MacDonald's farm, right? So we've got the, moo, 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 ruff, ruff, bah, bah, meow, meow, quack, quack, cluck, cluck, oink, oink. And you can see down here, Old MacDonald's farm. All are welcome. And so this is really the origin story of, if you know the song Old MacDonald Had a Farm, it picks it imagines what happened before that, like what happened because remember, it's Old MacDonald, so who was the young MacDonald, and how did MacDonald end up on a farm, and imagining a prequel, if you will. And so I love that idea. I'm always looking, when I'm looking at CPBs, I'm looking for ones that can serve as mentor text. Again, ones that can open up possibilities for my seniors, because about ideas come from anywhere and everywhere. I remember the idea jar. I did a vlog on that about 3 weeks ago. That's a great one. And I did that CPB with my students to help them see that ideas come from all kinds of places. The dedication, because I love that, is for all animals, and then that was the author, and then the illustrator for Vera, who loves animals. Those are things that I pay attention to. So it is a fabulous, what I would classify this as an origin story. what's the origin of something that we know, and you know, there's a great opportunity for imagination. There's also a nice thing about this, another point that I will drive home with my students, is that there's always more than one perspective, a way of looking at something. So you might think that you hate animals. That's how this kind of starts out, and that you want nothing to do with them, or for any, you know, for that matter, for anything that you have a strong opinion on. But there's always more than one perspective, and sometimes if we just are like, just try something, maybe we find out that our opinion changes. So I love how this ties in with Chimamanda Adichie's The Danger of the Single Story, which is a TED Talk that I use with my students to help them see that we are not just a single story. We are oceans of stories. We've got multiple stories, and those stories evolve and change, and there's just so many. And so one story might be about how you didn't like something, or how you loved something at some point, and then an experience helps you realize, oh, that's not necessarily the way I feel anymore. I've got a different opinion on that. Or maybe, you know, the opinion didn't change, but this is one that kind of plays with that. It does say here that Liyuan Pham celebrates the joy of embracing new perspective. It says he was a Caldecott honor-winning artist. So I'll have to look him up to see what it was, which illustrations he did win the Caldecott for. The coloring is really, really fun in this. Nice, kind of a cartoonish-like style, I think. But I love the subtle differencing in color, how color is used to communicate tone, particularly with the messaging from the first end page to the end page, to the last end page. And so this is one that I would recommend checking out. If you go to your library, it was published last year, 2024, because as I mentioned earlier, it was one of the ones that I heard was a contender for the Caldecott and Newbery for this year. And so the way that works, because I know I mentioned that and show that sometimes, is that all the books for 2025, all books, for example, that are copyrighted 2025, sometime in this year, are up, could be a contender if they're nominated for the Caldecott and the Newbery for the next time. And they always, or typically I should say, they always are announced in January. It's usually right around the time of Martin Luther King Day, right there in that same week. So this was actually copyrighted then 2024 because it was being touted as a contender for the 2025. So, but anyway, I'll look up to see what he did win a Caldecott for something earlier. But it's fun. The coloring, the colors, the use of colors are smart. Anyway, so just wanted to take a moment since I have time and I'm sitting here in the car waiting for the good old text from Walgreens that says, your medicine, your prescription's been filled. Because I live in North Carolina, for those of you that don't know, and I'm up here in Virginia, so I don't want to go all the way home and then turn around and come all the way back. That's the time I don't have and gas money I don't want to spend in that way. So just sitting here and kind of taking a break, and thought, okay, well, let me do a quick little vlog on this. But this is fun, a lot of fun. So, okay, have a great day and be blessed.